During the course of this video, we'll be going over multiple scripting templates/examples for every area of life or situation that I can think of. These aren't typical scripting templates, however, they're more aligned with the principles of the law of assumption. If you aren't aware yet, this is the complementary video to a previous video I recently did where we discussed the technique of scripting in advance. Below are timestamps that are divided by different areas of life and situations one may find themselves in. There are examples for specific people, dream bodies, ideal career, and more, and they're all organized via the timestamps in the description box down below. Using these chapters will take you to the part of the video that you are currently interested in. I genuinely felt like explaining timestamps to you. If you haven't watched this video yet, then I highly encourage you to watch that if you are at any point seeking further clarification as to how scripting in advance works. But if you prefer not to, then I'll give you a very, very brief explanation right now as to what scripting in advance is by differentiating the difference between that and traditional scripting. So traditional scripting usually involves you writing a letter to the universe or some deity expressing gratitude for having your ideals. And this is a very, very powerful technique. Scripting in advance goes far deeper into the assumptive state. So instead of writing a generic gratitude letter to the universe, you would draft a text, email, or a letter that hypothetically could be used at a later date once the manifestation has been made physical. Things should become far more clearer once we start exploring the examples and templates, so let's just get started. Manifesting an SP or a specific person is such a popular goal. So many of us already have someone in mind who we believe would be a perfect match for us. To make this method work for you in manifesting an SP, we need to first understand your circumstance. The reason being is so that we can make this process feel as natural as possible. So when we say I want to manifest an SP, what we may mean is I have someone in mind who I am very fond of and I want them to initiate the contact. Nobody wants to be rejected, so of course it's much easier to fantasize about them being the one to make the first move. In this case, let's assume that we have caught the attention of our specific person and now we are engaged in some sort of conversation with them, because that's what would normally happen. Somewhere in the conversation, our specific person asks if we can exchange numbers, and that's absolutely amazing. We can draft the message that we would use to send to our SP in that moment, the text that they would use to save our number. Now let's pretend our SP's name is Wolfgang, for whatever reason. The text would go something like this. Hey, Wolf. It's insert your name here, the person you're currently talking to, ... In fact, I've sent this message so many times. That example is sweet, dorky, and simple, but let's go deeper with this. Let's assume that Wolfgang has sent us a message on social media and Wolfgang has professed love for us. We can draft a response to this message. Now, that response could go something like this. I had no idea you felt this way, with like a cute little emoji or something like that. I have a day off coming soon. Maybe we can go out then. Something like that. So these are very broad examples, and you should definitely customize it to fit your language. Also find natural places to fit your specific person's name in. Doing this will make a positive difference in the way you feel about your assumptions. This is another situation where the context to the circumstance really matters. And I will offer you some examples, but you're really gonna have to customize this to suit the situation that you're in. Did you leave them? Did they leave you? Was it amicable? Was it bitter? Was it sweet? Only you can answer that question precisely. Please do so honestly, of course. In any case, let's create a generic draft message. Let me get the goggles out. Okay, it's really nice to hear from you. Let's do something like that. It's really nice to hear from you. I've been doing very well. Something like that. Thanks for the offer. I'd love to hang out soon. I have so much to share. So much to share. What's your schedule like? Customization is really important here. When I think of ideal body, I think of transformational posts, before and after posts, especially in the day and age that we are in. I cannot stress enough to you that for this method or any method to work, it has to be believable. It has to be a process that is enjoyable and natural to you. If I were to assume a different physical appearance for myself or a different body for myself, one thing that I would certainly do would be to go ahead and script a whole YouTube video about how I changed my physical appearance, because I like to make YouTube videos. So scripting a YouTube video is something that would feel natural to me. It's definitely believable that that is something I would do were I to achieve this ideal state. So for you, maybe you would share a before and after post on Facebook or Instagram or something. Maybe you would do that. You could try drafting a caption that would accompany the post once you have physically manifested the changes to yourself that you would like. And for example, and please don't laugh at me at how cheesy this might be, but the post could go something like this, for example: never let anyone tell you it's too late to redefine yourself, especially if who you are at the moment no longer satisfies you. It's not that there was any fault with who I used to be. The old me is responsible for who I am now, but who I've become now is a more accurate reflection of what's inside. I feel the healthiest and strongest I have in years. I'm more in tune with my inner being. You can toss in a little emoji there if you like, if it feels natural to you. From the photo on the left to the one on the right is a 6-month difference. This is the part where you get to actually start putting in the rules for how you want this to manifest for you. So you can start putting different time frames here if you feel inspired to, of course. This is also a really good way for you to check your beliefs and see what you truly believe. This is gonna lead into another topic, so I'm gonna stop talking about it here, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I've learned so much about my body, and I've learned and I've loved myself from the very start. The decision to finally put my needs first, no matter what others may say, is one I'll never regret. You know, those really inspirational captions where you've learned something at the end of the journey. You could do something like that if it's something that you would naturally do. Let's say, for example, you really want to manifest clear skin. We can pretend that you have a friend who's noticed all of the improvements that have been made to your skin, and now he or she is asking for some advice. You can draft a really simple text, something like this: it's really crazy, but it didn't even take that long for my skin to clear. Emoji, if you want to. All I did, and I kid you not, was increase my water intake, and I stayed on top of daily cleansing. The whole transformation probably took 8 weeks. Again, customize your scripts to suit your needs. Customize it until it's as believable to you as your name is. Healing is actually a really, really simple one because it's so intimate. This would almost always result in a text message to someone that you love and trust, like a parent or a sibling or a best friend. I actually narrated a video where this woman healed herself by envisioning her on a phone call with her mom, sharing news of her recovery. So we would basically do that, but with assumptive scripting. So it could be something as simple and small as this. Guess what? I'm all better. You can insert names here. Or guess what? The doctor says I'm fine, or the tests have come back and I'm cured, or there's no sign of any illness, or I'm sure you know what I mean. So with this one, I'm gonna just literally share with you the exact script that I used in order to manifest my acceptance into that school that I really, really wanted to get into. I actually sent news of my acceptance to a friend weeks before I actually received the physical offer from the institution. I'm going to show you the dates on these documents. So right here, what we're looking at is the actual text message I sent to that friend. And as you can notice here, right here, what the date is on that message. And then this is a portion of the offer that I received from that institution. And right here, you can notice the date that was actually sent to me. So it was weeks before I drafted this message and felt really, really, really inspired to just send it out there. Weeks before I ever physically received that offer. I was going to share with you an example and a template of accepting a job, but I really suspect this video might be running a little bit long. And secondly, I know you have the gist of this by now. If there is a job, my love, you want to manifest it, do yourself a favor and write the acceptance letter for that position addressing your boss, and then just keep it in your draft folder or what have you. What I want to share with you right now instead is a letter that I sent to my current boss that I drafted beforehand, and I'll explain to you the whole situation of what's going on here. I made a error at work that exposed me to the C word that the whole world has been battling with for the past 2 years or so. And I felt like a total dodo head for making this mistake. If I tested positive for this illness, I would have had to take days off of work. More importantly, my health would have been put at risk, and the health of my family and everybody that I know. And I just didn't want that. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So what I did from the very start that this situation happened was I applied this method, and needless to say, everything worked out as precisely as I scripted it in advance to be. So right here, what we're looking at is that exact letter that I sent to my boss. And unfortunately for this one, I don't have any receipts to share with you because I actually scripted this in my notes app, and I have a habit of deleting old notes and trying to organize my phone and keep it nice and clean. So I deleted the actual note that I scripted in advance the moment I sent it off to my boss. But believe me when I say this letter that you are reading before you was scripted in advance, approximately 1 week before everything manifested physically as I scripted it to be. And then what I literally did was just copied and pasted it and sent it over to my boss, because sometimes I'm really, really lazy. Keep these things in mind. The main thing to remember when scripting in advance is authenticity. I really, really, really want you to keep things as natural and believable as you possibly can. When I say natural, I mean natural to your behaviors, to your language, and the things that you would naturally do. Let things be in alignment with who you truly are. Are you somebody who uses social media to announce good news? If you are, then you can use this to your advantage and script in advance the post of you announcing your good news. Perhaps you love sharing your good news through text. So you can go ahead and draft that text. In relationships, maybe you love writing cute little love letters or sending cute little mushy romantic texts and stuff. If you are that person, you can go ahead and script them in advance right now. There is nothing stopping you from doing that right now. I swear to God, it is such a great feeling actually doing this process. The way you feel in this process, if you're doing it correctly, is just it's amazing. I've found this to be an incredibly fun method to use, and it never interferes with keeping me firmly placed in the state of the wish fulfilled. These draft letters, emails, and texts, they're yours to keep, and you can keep them somewhere nice and safe and reread them regularly if you feel like it. Once I wrote mine, I would keep them safely stored away in my phone, never to be seen again until the time of physical manifestation. I've only ever once sent my script pre-physical manifestation, and that was only because I was highly inspired to. And you know I advocate for following your intuition. Above all else, listen to your intuition, my love. The universe is always guiding you. Try following your bliss for a bit and see where it leads you. And with that being said, thank you for watching this video. I truly do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I trust you'll give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more content just like this. So, how did you like today's video, and what video would you like to see next? Let me know in the comment section down below. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Toodles!